I was invited to a small, private, but basically on the record meeting with Masoud Pezeshkian, the president of Iran, and Dr. Abbas Araghchi, who is the foreign minister. And they were late because they were meeting with Emmanuel Macron of France about the snapback sanctions that Europe is about to hypocritically impose on Iran, even though the US broke the Iran deal in 2018. And so there's no way that Iran can be accused of not abiding by an agreement that was invalidated. It's pure hypocrisy. And that was part of Pezeshkian's message. He focused heavily on the Gaza genocide, the assassinations by Israel, including in Qatar. Inside Iran, he mentioned the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh and said, how can you accuse us of being the chaos agents? The chaos is emanating from Israel. How can you accuse us of being terrorists when we're the victims of terrorism? Well, I asked him directly about a speech given last Tuesday by Iran's leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who said that negotiations with the U.S. are pure folly and will only end up in more war, and it would be a declaration of surrender to re-enter negotiations with the U.S. And does that reflect his position, the position of the presidency? And I asked if he believed that Donald Trump had actually set a ruse in the last round of negotiations to lull Iran into a sense of false security so that they could be more easily targeted by the Israelis. And he didn't answer my question directly. He was clearly it sounded like he was leaving the door open for diplomacy, but he emphasized that they would only enter negotiations on certain terms and that they obviously don't trust the U.S. He brought up a book he read by someone named Mitchell Clark called Endless Wars. And the thesis of the book is that the U.S. will never cease its regime change wars because of its insatiable lust for resources. And then he said that no doubt the U.S. will attack Iran again, and Israel will attack Iran again, that they will defend themselves more vigorously than before. And he pointed to all of the social cohesion that took place when Israel attacked Iran without provocation in June, that sectors of Iranian society that didn't previously, that had harsh criticisms, if not total opposition to the Islamic Republic, came together in support of the military. And he pointed to that as a real basis of Iran's strength going into the next inevitable war. He, on my question later, went off on Steve Witkoff, the U.S. negotiator, and basically called him a fraud and said that every time that he would meet with us, they wished they had recorded it. He would tell them one thing positive, and they would come out feeling positive, and then he'd go back to Washington and say another, which is something done. So they don't obviously trust the Americans. And he also mentioned the possibility that Israel would target him for assassination. And he said that there are 5 people waiting to take his place, and that Iran is planned for every possible scenario. So Iran's on a war footing. And
سرچ مدیا